Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for having me here. I love Shenzhen. I've been here many times, and I'll be back anytime you want. I never said no to Shenzhen. More than 18 years in the area. I think Shenzhen should go international big time. More than 30 years have passed since August 26, 1980, the birth of Shenzhen as a milestone in China's reform and opening up. Now, Shenzhen is growing with spectacular achievements, or let me say in a Chinese way, San Chi Li. Shenzhen Development Bank, now known as Ping'an Bank, the very first listed bank in China. Huawei, the only unlisted Fortune 500 company, and maybe the most famous Chinese company in the world. Not to mention BYD, Tencent, Banke, Ping'an, the list goes on. There are just too many honors for Shenzhen to cover them all. However, after more than 30 years, the Chinese development model is beginning to show its age. A normal event, perhaps. The most extraordinary part is that it didn't happen until now. This growth pattern has been going on for more than 30 years, unchanged, basically. The economy is slowing down. Despite all efforts, consumption is not growing, and the domestic market seems trapped in a whirlwind of investments that are causing exponential growth in supply of manufactured goods. A lot of stock, a lot of unsold goods. There is a lot of Chinese industrial sector are in great oversupply. So, how can we make sure China and Shenzhen will still stand at the top of the world for the next 30 years? An obvious and often cited answer is already engraved in what we are discussing today: internationalization. However, it is easier said than done. Unfortunately, China has not been able to project a reassuring image to the world. China's ascension was more endured than managed. We foreigners were more victim than joyful participants. As if Beijing model was actually the result of national interest masquerading as globalization and not the herald of universal values. China's leadership, whom I know very well, knows this aspect extremely well. The diffusion of a new soft power is instrumental, concentrating on the Pacific rise in an attempt to calm neighboring countries and also Washington, and overall international opinion. But recent attempts have been futile, and China has become increasingly involved in embarrassing and disconcerting controversies. Paradoxically, foreign governments are enjoying good relations with Beijing, perhaps not outstanding, but still oriented toward fruitful collaboration for everyone. It is a strong sign of China's indispensability. Missing instead is the social element, the kind of prestige that can bring better quality of life, the success of products and fashion, the kind of charm that should be evoked by a country with China history and culture. I'm being very frank to you. I've known China for 20 years, okay? So don't come here to just please the audience. But the common perception is instead of the country clinging to its uniqueness just when it should be getting itself more involved in the international arena. The perception of China has been deteriorating. But the economy has the power to change this trend. Foreign investment by China can earn benevolence, exporting China's younger, more dynamic side, open to a more contemporary China. Thousands of young entrepreneurs can be groomed to venture abroad, not just to gather resources, be localized towards countries with plentiful labor, or find more agricultural terrain. The managerial class is emerging after years of study and apprenticeship. I do like the youth in this country. If the future is the youth, then the future looks bright. These young people are familiar with finance, fluent in English, and comfortable in international assemblies and board meetings. They are often able to combine corporate requirements with the social responsibilities of the company. They are conscious of environmental impact and the dignity of labor. By virtue of their intellectual structure and direct experience, they are far from the giant state-owned enterprises and from predatory capitalism and from indifference towards local affairs. China can draw intellectual and material resources from this new element. Upon them, China can establish more extensive and respected international cooperation with an eye on the books as much as on respectability. Too often China has entrusted itself to political delegation, to dialogue with other countries, without reaching the hearts and minds of the people living in other countries. So many have said, as a private equity professional, I want to add some personal input to Shenzhen future development to become more international. Shenzhen has a strong industrial base, with electronics, fashion, jewelry being some of the strongest. We as Mandarin have taken a look at many companies in this industry in Shenzhen, and they are very dynamic and prosperous. It is not so far-fetched to think that Shenzhen could become a worldwide center of fashion and high-tech in the future, with development and interaction with the rest of the world. Shenzhen could become like Silicon Valley, or Cambridge, Boston in the USA, Bavaria in Germany, possible Bangalore in India, or Bologna in Italy, or even something like Paris or Milan. To reach this goal, Shenzhen has two main resources, finance and talent. Shenzhen is probably the most local private equity venture capital funds in China. But to attract fresh international knowledge and experience, there needs to be done more and much more. One solution would be to set up an international offshore private equity fund, including internationally funding partners, to help the best Shenzhen company to go international through M&A and organic development. Also, with the proximity to Hong Kong, Shenzhen has the largest chance and incomparable advantages to be the pioneer of renminbi internationalization. Shanghai district is definitely an important move, and we should grab this opportunity. On the other hand, I like to dream big. I propose to expand the China-X board to list foreign high-tech firms. It could be a long shot, but we have already witnessed so many miracles in Shenzhen. Why stop now? The other resources is talents, which leads directly to education. Shenzhen is not famous for education. Best schools are not in Shenzhen, best Chinese universities are not in Shenzhen. But education is something that can really provide Shenzhen with sustainable development. It would be great to expand programs at Shenzhen universities to draw international and offshore Chinese talents, both at the academic and student level. And finally, I do strongly believe Shenzhen needs to develop an international PR and advertising campaign on all major international media to promote Shenzhen as one of the world's key high-tech hub, fashion and financial centers. I can't wait to see and embrace Shenzhen's bright future. Go Shenzhen. Good luck. Thank you.